Okay, so this last one here, what I want to do is I want to have some logic built in. So if a traveler enters the miles that they drove, then we want to automatically calculate for them the mileage expense. Once again, CDS to the rescue. So I'm going to say add a field, and so what we're going to do is we're going to do miles driven. And then for the data type there, we're going to say, all right, this is going to just be a whole number, right? I don't care if you drove 0.25 miles, I just want big round numbers, right? So how many miles did you drive? Pretty straightforward, so we'll say done. And then now we get into the cool one. So we'll say add a field, and we're going to say we want to have a mileage expense. And so the data type for this one is going to be currency, but this time around what we want to do is we're going to do a calculated column. So we're going to say add a calculation. And so when you do that, it's going to warn you, wait, you have pending changes, you need to save those first. That's fair. So save my pending changes. Okay, so then after a few seconds or two, what happens, it went ahead and saved our fields, and then it launched a separate browser window for us to go in and set up the calculation. And so here you can see that the calculation, it's more than just normal, right? So I've used calculated columns in things like SharePoint for years, and they were there, they had some options, but they weren't really this full fidelity. And I think this is one of those places where CDS is really shining. Because not only can I do the calculation that we need to do, but we can add a condition. So let's just click on that. We're not going to add a condition. Let's click on it because it's optional. And then it gives us this great builder, right? So maybe we want to say, well, only if billable is equal to true, right? And see how easy it's already filled out. It knows the values. I can just kind of look at that and be like, oh yeah, only if it was billable as yes, then would I want to do this calculation. And so we'd say save, and we'd be able to go on, and we'd have this great business logic tied even to our calculated column. Now, the good news is that I just always want to calculate it, so we're not going to do it in this example, but we're going to come back to this same type of interface later. One of the places that CDS really just shines for us. So we're going to cancel out of that. Okay, so then now we're going to go down, we'll click Add an Action. And so then now we're going to start to type in miles, right? And so miles driven, and so we didn't have to worry about this because we were just able to use the automatic search here. And there's our friendly name, there's the database name because that's what it really cares about. So we're just going to say miles driven, and then we're going to multiply that, right, the good old star, and we're going to multiply that by 0.545, which is the current mileage reimbursement rate here in the States, but yours might vary, but you get the idea, right? So then now my customers, or my users, my travelers, they don't have to come in and enter what is it. They're not doing calculations. They don't have to go look it up. When they put in the miles they drive, we're automatically going to count the mileage expense for them. So we'll click the little go. And so just like that, we've got everything set up. So now we can say save and close. And so then we are currently editing a calculated field. Well, we're done with our pop-ups, so we'll just say done. That'll force this page to refresh for us. And so we can see that everything is all set. And so now we have all the fields set up in our entity so we can go and build our further solutions. But we still have a few more things to learn about CDS before we move too far along. So I'll see you in a second.